What's up, everybody? Welcome back to, you already know, the Dadgood Community Podcast. First one of the year this year, and it's not without some preparation and some really big plans in the pipe. And so, as always, hanging out with your boy WD, Warren to Friends. You know him, you love him. Our guy Guy Groskos, he's over there living it up. Bridge for life. And you already know, partnership connoisseur, our dude, Matt Campbell. And as always, my name's Chris Walcher. Really excited, first of all. Hi, gentlemen. Great to get back into the lab with you guys. And so want to just break the ice, address the elephant, if you will. Herd with the sheep. That's not an expression, but just go with me on this one. Let's talk about where we've been, where we're going, and kind of what this absence has been to kind of the trajectory of what we're planning for Dadgood, man. Any of you guys could carry the football from there. What do we got going on?
Oh, dog, I'll kick us off real quick. I think this weird limbo hiatus. I think I can just speak for myself here that life kind of caught up to me. New job ish. Uh, Total move, 6 or 7 states away from family, and going from having a support network close by every single day to, hey, you got no one. You gotta figure it out yourself. Followed that up by some traveling for work and the wife having to rally up the kiddos herself. It's been a lot. All good things, but I had to kind of put my priorities elsewhere. But yeah, now we're back, settled in, and ready to get grooving.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Look, it's not like we took our foot off the gas pedal, but I just kind of want to address a couple things that you just said because I feel like that's so real. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. There is the have to do and there's the nice to have. And obviously we're still young and we're trying to grow this into a have to do, but I think that it's really cool just to be vulnerable for a sec and be like, yo man, life caught up with me, whether it's work, whether it's being in a brand new state away from your homies, away from your parents, like a brand new routine, a brand new house, like all of these things catch up with you. And I don't ever want that to be referred to as a fault. And so I think that was really cool that you brought that up, Guy. Um, and obviously, all four of us have stayed connected through and through. Um, but it's not a fault. That's just a sign of dude, we have our priorities in check. And I think it would be so dope for Dad Good to grow into a stratosphere where that's one of the have to do's. Um, but dude, sometimes you just gotta be a dad and you gotta be an employee and you gotta keep doing the things that got you here in the first place. For Warren and Maddie, what do you guys think, man? What you guys been up to?
I think Warren, I'll go in, but I think Chris and Guy, what you guys said is like, yes, the beauty of the platform that y'all created is to be there for each other and to be there for the other dads in the platform. But it's also a reminder to us to prioritize what actually matters in our lives. And sometimes that's why the things you create take a back seat. So it wasn't intentional. It was just when you realign and reevaluate the priorities that you have in your life, which become your family, the need to haves and the want to haves separate themselves. Um, and I think that's what happened in the last couple months for us. Um, Now it's not that we don't want Dadgood to be, go to the moon. It's just we again priorities shift and change constantly, and that's what happened. And we're excited to get the ball back rolling together. It's good to see you for knuckleheads too.
Yeah. No, dude,
Yeah.
and look, again, I'll even reiterate, it's not even like anything where you say, "Oh, my fault." Like, there's no fault. If anything, I kinda see the beauty behind it and kinda like the character of the 3 dudes that I get to rap with tonight is like, you will not ever prioritize or sacrifice your why, which is ultimately like, dude, it's so easy to wear the Dadgood hat, and put on a facade, right? "Oh,
I,
love
I
my kids, I'm all about it, I'm that guy." But it's another thing to be about it, and I think that especially after the holidays, we all were about it, like, just simple as that, you know? It was dad good, put dad good to the side because 'cause I'm about to be a good dad type
yeah,
of thing.
I think that's a really strong point. I think it would be anti dad good to not do what we did, right? And
Exactly.
I think that's such a valid point, is that you guys have been just amplifying my point more and more, and it makes so much sense. Like, obviously, I wish I could do this all day, every single day, and just build this powerhouse community. At the end of the day, Rome wasn't built in the day. This community is going to take lots of time to get it to where we want it to be. And unfortunately, bigger things came up for all of us. And it was like, hey, we got to put this thing on the back burner. But again, beautiful things take loads of time
For
to
sure.
build and develop and turn into something great. Let's be grateful that it was like only a month or two and it wasn't much longer, right?
Right?
Um, and I think it gave us all a pretty good reset. It allowed us to put our brain power together and really figure out like, hey, what do we want to do with this thing? So in a
Mhm.
way, I'm kind of glad it happened.
No, me
Um,
too.
I think it caused some good realignment between the four of us.
No,
If
for
I'm being
sure.
perfectly honest with all of
And
you.
I would say and then I wanna toss it over to Warren, but just on that note, Guy, I think an unintentional blessing from just a small departure, especially from leadership, was boy, that community was still thriving every single day without any of our involvement. People posting and people responding and, "Hey, I need help with this," or "I'm in this pickle with
And
that."
people
And so,
joining.
Yeah, new dads
dude,
join.
like,
Ooh,
it
yeah.
really is a credit to obviously you guys, but honestly, hats off to the community because
For
it's
sure.
it's like a self-sufficient running machine, whether and it's not like anybody was fighting, there was no, like it was just dads helping and supporting dads with or without guardrails or structure or leadership going, "Hey, look, this is the direction that we wanna head," and that is the magic. Warren,
Yeah. Wait, real quick, right after Warren goes, I got a crazy story off the top of the dome I gotta share with you guys. Sorry, Warren.
let's
Go
hear
ahead.
it. I
No,
wanna
you're
No,
hear
no,
good.
no.
Warren's
Warren,
input.
go.
Warren, what you been up
I
to? First of all, it's been several months for you also. You're training for this marathon. I know that's crazy, but, like, just talk to us about how it's been, bro.
Yeah, yeah, man. A few things I wanted to the you talk about the community growing and just kind of still thriving. I think, when we started this thing, I always had this picture in my head of imagining other dads who were in there in the community and them just kind of being like, going throughout their day and just being like, I wonder what's going on in Dad Good, or like, I wonder like what's going on in the community. And I just that's what I'm always trying to focus on, is like building something that replicates that feeling, because if it feels like the people who join, if it feels like a piece of like who they are, even when they're not, interacting in the Slack or whatever, I think that's like the magic that we're looking for. And I think that's why people continue to join. The members probably talk about it. I'm sure they do to like dads that they know. So I love that it is like that. I think it's come a long way from just an idea of like a club when Guy and I started it. And, I think maybe even we were probably a little embarrassed and scared to announce it, because we were like, I guess like we'll just know these 10 guys like really well who joined the Slack. And like now it's just like a thing like, Like I have like there's dads now, like there's a dad who joined from like Switzerland. There's another dad, like dude, it's like it's really wild to see. And yeah, to be upfront, the effort the last few months has been, minimal if not zero. So the fact that it's still kind of pumping along is really awesome. And then Chris, I would say too, man, like I think everybody gets a little credit, but I think you especially, like um just because life was happening, and you've done it a few different times, kind of like like wrangled us up in a way and kind of like said some stuff that's just kind of like, hey man, like if we're not gonna be about this and do it, then like let me know. Maybe I'll just like find some other stuff that I can work on, that I can put my heart into. And so I think that's important to like you mentioned, get vulnerable and get real about those kind of things. And I think there's no question that all four of us want this to be the thing that we do all the time. It's just um people ask me all the time, and I know they ask you guys, how the hell are you working a job, being a dad, being a husband, doing this other stuff, doing Dadgood, doing a podcast? Like people ask me, and I never have a good answer. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like,
No, it's
literally
rough.
just get to the end of the day, and I'm like, just try to figure it out. So anyways, but a lot of the same stuff I've been up to, you guys have been up to as well. The holidays were crazy, and um yeah, I'm just excited to kind of jump back into it. And now I just really want to hear what Guy is going to tell us. So
No, I want to hear the show. But before we shoot it to Guy, just on that point, it's look, like obviously I will send those text messages to you guys because there is zero hesitancy on, am I gonna offend anybody? Am I gonna hurt feelings? Like an accidental blessing out of this is like, and I've made this comment before, like, you 3, you're it, man. Like, you guys are my best dudes. I confide in you with stuff that I don't with other people, and so if we're gonna, like, climb the mountain, then, dude, if someone's, like, showing that they're incapable or not ready yet, then do we gotta have those type of healthy discussions so that,
Yeah.
because 'cause I'm not gonna be at the top of the mountain by myself, like, all 3 of you hooligans are gonna be at the top of the mountain with me, and so that's important, and that's, such an unintentional blessing that, you know, I'm stuck with you 3, and that's a beautiful thing, bro.
And before we
Thanks.
shift over to Geese and his insane story,
It's not
up till
insane, but
and
yeah.
his Instagram journey, dude, you're crushing right now.
You're
Who?
crushing Warren, dude. Both
You,
of you
dude,
Who?
guys
almost
are.
Who? None of us.
almost
Tell
almost
me.
10K followers in what? It's been 5 months. You got a video getting 1.3 million views.
I
This dude's
do. It's
cooking.
crazy.
And on
That's
TikTok too.
Consistent.
It's not just
Can
Instagram.
consistency is consistency. That's
King of consistency, that's what I always
just
called this
Doug,
guy,
just
but it's
always.
freaking
crazy because I remember like
like
4 or 5
Rocky,
months
dude.
ago,
Just
you only had I don't you
600.
only had like
I started my TikTok. I never had a TikTok. In fact, and we have a family chat, and Chloe's younger sisters, they send TikToks. And back in the day, I was just like, I can't. Well, I guess maybe you can still watch. I don't know, but I didn't
yeah,
have
yeah,
an
yeah.
account, so I
It's
was
tough,
just
yeah.
like, I was like, oh, y'all are lame. TikTok, like I don't. I started TikTok from zero, and my Instagram, I had like 500, but I had an Instagram, and I had 500 people that I knew from like high school. So they've
Yeah.
been following me. They're almost like dead followers. Sorry if any of you guys are like watching. Not that you're actually dead, but but
We
yeah,
appreciate
dude,
your
it's been a
Yeah,
support,
yeah.
it's
Becky
been a
from
it's I
7th
mean
period.
it has been a sick journey, but honestly, the community is always in the back of my mind. In fact, I connect with a lot of dads on Instagram now, and the first thing I say is like, join our community, join our community. So now it is very exciting to see another channel of opportunity for us open up, whereas normally the LinkedIn inbox, hey, I want to get in the Slack, I want to get in the Slack. Now I'm starting to see that on the Instagram as well. And obviously there's so many dads on all those platforms, and so I am always thinking about the community too, and just as another avenue of hey, how can we just get like a lot of eyeballs and exposure on the
Yeah.
on the community? So, but yeah, it's been fun.
You are, I will say, you are like a disgustingly authentic, good dad. Dad good.
Dude, I
Like,
try.
and for
I have my moments though, and I should capture those, but
no,
it's just
for sure.
hard to
But
like
like,
capture. Like you turn it on, you're like, I'm gonna just freaking like,
to
but like,
post that,
dude,
dude, every single day from the
yeah,
making food to the kisses on the forehead when you give the food to the tossing them on the bed at night, like, that is a new level. Bro, when I put my girls to bed at night, it's not all rainbows and unicorns, toss you on the bed, clap your hands, and lights go off. I'll tell you that.
Dog,
Um
Enzo kicked me in the forehead today when I put him to
That's what
bed.
I mean, bro. You're about to elbow your kid in the face, and meanwhile, Warren's over here. And look, I know there's a big difference between what you see on social media and what reality is like, but the fact that you're intentional in harvesting even what is a 3-second shot through your cell phone camera, um, they remember that. And when you throw them into, you could have been screaming at them 3 seconds before, but the moment that you pick up your daughter and toss her onto the top bunk, that 3 seconds before is a complete memory, and she's just catching air being thrown by her pop. And so that type of consistency, um, that's dope, dude. Like, you're just a good dad, and I think it's so
thank
cool
you.
to see.
Well, you all are good dads. The last thing, Gee, I promise. The one thing that's opened my eyes about this a lot is there's a lot of comments, and I'm shocked. People I don't know if it's the way they were raised or whatever. They think it's uncool to like serve their family or like this, and it's just like a competition. And this is more on like the marriage front, probably. But there's like elements of the fatherhood too. It's just like, oh, well, like haven't you been working all day? Like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, well, I'm like, I don't care if like I was like so tired, I was like crawling on my stomach. Like, why? When I got home, why would I like I get comments from like women like oh my husband will come and like just sit on the sofa like on his phone or like play
That's
Yeah.
your
video
that's
games.
your
And I'm like there's nothing wrong with that, but like that's done like after. I'm like, why would you come home and miss out on literally the greatest moments of your life, moments that one day you'll look back on, and the only prayer that you'll have is that you had more of them, not and if you already are squandering the opportunities that you have. And so it's just so eye-opening. And then even getting some hate for like, oh dude, like like even, and this is probably like younger kids just like hating, but like calling me simp. And I'm just like, homie, I'm like, dude, I'm like, you hope you get older and
You
have
love
a
that, bro.
family and a
I
wife
love
like
that for
this.
you. Are you
Like,
kidding?
dude,
Are
like,
you
yeah, I'm
kidding?
just like, dude, I'm like, you don't even, there's a trend going around right now. It's like, I just passed a group of young kids and I heard them say, oh, if I don't lock in, I'm going to end up like this. I want to do one that's like the opposite, like walking with Chloe and the girls. Like, just heard a group of kids like, yo, if I lock in, like, I could be like that. Like, in the
For
sense of like
sure.
having like a great family and like all the things. But anyways, it's just been really like eye opening, like I guess the thoughts and things that people have around like present, just active present husbands and dads and stuff like that. And um, yeah, but I leave all the dirty, nasty comments too. Like I never hide them just so that
No, for
everyone can
sure, bro.
see. And I'm
Hey,
like, dude,
man,
I'm like,
haters
hey
mean you
man, I'm
made
like,
it,
if you
bro.
and
Haters mean you made it.
I always thank them. I always thank them for stopping by, and I think they hate that too. So
Yeah.
it's
No,
just
you
like,
gotta kill them with kindness. All right, Geek
I
Roscoe's.
geeked.
I'm
I'm
on the
dying
edge
to
of my
know what
seat
now this
here.
is.
We've teed you off at least 4 times. Let's hear, let me hear.
Yeah, I think well, I shared with you guys the other day that this dude on LinkedIn hit me up and was like, "Yo, your local." He came across Dadgood a few months ago. This dude Adam, who lives down here in Charleston, well known on LinkedIn, makes some great posts, sales guy. This guy Brett saw his content and was like, "Oh, I'm gonna follow Dadgood. Like this looks cool." Came across my LinkedIn, and homie shot me a message because I posted a picture of me at Publix with the boys. And he was like, "Yo, not to be weird, but that's my Publix." So whatever, we start chit-chatting. Come to find out, that bro lives in the neighborhood right behind mine. So,
No
like, my
way.
neighborhood's here. There's actually a road that they built connecting our neighborhoods, and he lives probably less than a quarter mile away. Like, it is very, very close. You could just walk there in just a few minutes. So anyways, we got his number. We've been texting back and forth, just, chit-chatting, figured out where each other lives. We've just been
Yeah.
chatting. Today, I go outside and my wife's like, "Hey, that guy that you were talking about just walked by and said hi to me." I was like, "What the heck?" So I text him. He was on a walk with his daughter. No, sorry, with his sons, and stopped by. And dude, he's the first guy that I met like through Dadgood in person. I haven't
That's
met anybody
awesome.
else yet. And dude, it's what now we're buddies. He lives a few houses down from me, and it just goes to show, like, dude, if we never started this thing, probably would have never met this guy.
No
Probably would have
way.
never met
Yeah,
Adam.
no way.
Probably would have never met him. Maybe I would have ran across him like at the park and just like said hi. But it's so cool that this all happened because of this community. And now we're buddies and we were shooting the shit. He brought his sons over into my yard. The boys were like playing around. And honestly, it was just like such a cool moment. So
Bro, that's
sorry if
so
the story
beautiful.
wasn't as cool as you guys were
No,
expecting,
no,
but
dude,
I
it
don't
it
know. I love
met
that.
all
Dude, that's
levels
like
of anticipation.
that's like the story. You were at some event or something, weren't
oh
you?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
like you were wearing like a hat or what? So
Yeah,
what
yeah, yeah.
happened? That was
Back in September, I was wearing a Dadgood hat, and so this guy at a booth, like representing his company, was like, "Oh, Dadgood, I've seen that." And at the time, I was like, "Oh, you mean Dad Gang? Because they were so popular." He's like, "No, Dadgood, the LinkedIn community." I was like, "Yo, how the hell? Like, how the heck do
see,
you know about that?"
that's
He
so
was like,
cool,
"Yo, I'm
dude. That's
I'm
sick.
in it." I don't think he was in it. He didn't have kids, but he saw a post. And he was like, "Dude, I've seen you guys on LinkedIn before." He's like, "I just haven't joined because I don't have kids yet."
We
But
should
yeah,
just
you're
start
right.
doing that when you ask somebody and they're like, "Oh, like I love it, but I'm not in it." Just walk off. Like, oh, I'm just kidding. You know? Yeah, but for real, you should join though. Like that's
Yeah.
what I always say to people when they're like talking it up. I'm like, heck yeah, man, we got a member right here, and they're like, oh no, I'm not in it. I'm like, oh well, that's gonna change today. So I'm
What?
like,
It
Yeah,
here's
is
your
it
hold
is
on.
invite.
sur it is surreal,
Let
and
me let me switch gears on this because it's happened more than I could count on both hands. Where so I know historically, if we have a father to be, it's been like fresh green light into the community. But there's been like a handful of young dudes who are good guys and you could tell their heads in the right place. Um, what are our collective thoughts about like even young men being inspired by fathers, perhaps if they're not fathers yet, kind of getting a taste of some of the magic and the camaraderie of the slack. I know we've
listen,
not not to say
I
we've been indifferent, but we've been headstrong on like dad good, gotta be a dad. But I think
bro,
that, Guy, you bring up an interesting point is that there's a lot of younger dudes who are super solid in nature that need mentors and not to be biased, but like, what better mentor than a father who is opening themselves up to be vulnerable themselves inside of a community? Like, maybe I'm just rambling now. What do you guys think?
no, I think you make a great point. I'll be honest, I think there was a lot my dad, again, I talk about my dad all the time. I'm very blessed that my dad was very present in my life and still is to this day. But with that, there were a lot of things that I wish he had taught me, things like being good with my money and buying a house and filing, taxes. Like, these are all things that I kind of had to figure out for myself. Wasn't really until Ashley was pregnant with Enzo that I had to flip this switch and be like, okay, now I have to be a grown man and like figure things out for myself. Where I feel like if I even got a glimpse of the community, like in that limbo
In that
period of
stage,
becoming a
yeah.
dad, yeah, or even like before it, like if I got in when I was a little bit before and started talking to some of these dads, I think that would also build a really cool segment of like dad mentor, that could be a really cool new avenue for us where I do think a lot of young men who aspire to be not only a good husband but a good father could really benefit from. So to answer your question, I'm
Yeah.
all for it. I think it could be a really cool segment for us.
No, for sure. Because look, dude, even I've been indifferent about it. We're kind of, you know what I mean? We had this mission plan. And so, no, dude, I like to hear that feedback from you, Guy. Because you, of all people, you were pretty headstrong at first about the like, yo, you need to have, you know what I mean? But
Listen, dog, I became a dad at 25, and if I knew half of what I knew
that's
now
what
at
I mean.
23 or 24, who
Dude,
knows
I
where I'd
love
be
it.
today? You know what I mean?
Gosh,
So
It's like
guys,
that thing, dude. Young kids be like, dude, if I lock in, like I could be like this
if I
guy right
lock
here,
in, man,
dude.
that's it, bro.
our own Guy Grosco's grown up right before our very eyes.
Wild.
My
I didn't even
goodness.
think it was gonna happen. It's crazy.
Maddie, what do you think, man? What do you think on the Dadgood mentorship? What do you think about that pocket?
Dude, I'm here for whatever you guys want. I mean, I think it's a
He
solid.
hates it. Did you hear that response? That sounded so weak.
He
I'm here
basically
for
just called us a
whatever you
bunch of
want. I
idiots,
have
dude.
no opinion.
Look, I was 25 when Cash was born too. So, if I had a little bit more of an advice or support system around me or friends that had kids, I think it would definitely be beneficial. I think it'd have to be its own little pocket within Dadgood.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know that it would be a holistic approach to what we want to do or our core focus, but it definitely could be a sweet pocket where we have a mentor program for these aspiring fathers. And I think that in itself is a solid idea to bestow the wisdom that we now have as kids with toddlers. And it might not even be wisdom, it's chaos control. I think that is a way for us to give back to aspiring fathers.
Have you guys ever
No.
watched the movie Role Models
Yes.
Yeah.
with Sturdy Wings?
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
I it's only top of mind because I literally watched it 3 nights
Dude,
ago.
I love
But
role models, bro. Paul Rudd and oh,
yeah,
dude,
you kind of
come
look
on.
like him. You kind of
Dude,
look like him.
the
That's
venti
crazy.
the venti scene has got to be one of my favorite scenes of all
Yeah,
time.
and Warren looks like
Yeah.
Augie Farks, and we're all
Yeah, a
Just
little
kidding, I'm
bit,
just
a
kidding,
little
I'm just
bit.
kidding. I'm just
All Hamphia, rub a dub dub.
kidding. Dude, yeah, but hey, it could turn. And look at what happens at the end.
Exactly. Beautiful.
It's been a
Beautiful.
minute.
You kidding?
I need to
The movie's
refresh my.
spectacular.
Bro,
Really
role
quick, I don't mean
models
that.
is
We can get back to the topic, but Ashley and I,
Warren, that's one
nowadays,
where you put the kids to bed first.
yeah,
I'll tell you
movies
No,
that.
suck now.
I know that much about it.
Movies
Great.
suck nowadays, unfortunately, and there's
Yeah, no
nothing like
kidding.
a good comedy. There's nothing like a Superbad or Role Models or Step
Yeah,
Brothers.
man.
And Ashley's never watched Role Models, so we're sitting on the couch, and I'm like, "You want a good laugh?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Have you ever seen Role Models?" And she's like, "No, dude." She was dying the
Dying, I'm
entire time.
sure,
It's
dude.
I
spectacular.
thought you were gonna tell us that like she was just like kind of like, oh, it's not even that funny. Like just
No, she
super
loved
like
it.
what? Like what are you talking about?
Speak
Like,
of the lady. One sec.
That's hilarious. Go
No,
hit
go
her
ahead.
up. Go hit
That
her up.
venti scene has got to be one of my favorite scenes of
When
all.
he's like,
Well, great.
oh,
Now you're
actually,
speaking in 3 languages.
venti
Venti is
means
20.
large or whatever. He's like, so congratulations, you're stupid in
Super
3
cute.
languages.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Great movie. Just
that's so funny.
but yeah, we could do that. We could literally
Not
replicate
to
that.
look, I want to pivot a little bit, but I've actually been really because look, we're cutting below the skin tonight, and I'm kind of digging the vibe. Um, so this is mainly for Guy and Warren, but even for Maddie and myself, I bet we could throw shoes in. When you guys were like first creating Dad Good, or you got the concept, was it like the original intent to build a community for dads exclusively? Or did you kind of feel like maybe there was a version of yourself that you didn't know how to help back then? Or maybe that version of yourself needed something like a community? Like, talk to me kind of about the inception because we've we've had times to be like, I've cried on this pod. We've had times to get super vulnerable, but obviously the bias of a dad in this working world is like rough exterior, hoorah. Like, what dig deep. What was kind of like the inception of Dadgood outside of just hosting a community?
Uh, I think I think for me, Chris, just because for my personal experience, like I'm super grateful to have such a great support system. Meaning, my family is around. Obviously my wife, um, friends locally that I have. But a lot of them aren't really dads. So what I'm trying to get at is like I have the support, and if I need to talk to somebody about, man, I'm struggling with this about being a dad. I can go to my own dad, I can go to my father-in-law, which is cool. But I just kept thinking there's really not going to be anything like just having a bunch of other dads um, who are going through the same thing. Like, again, I could talk to my father-in-law. The dude's awesome, Chris. Shout out Chris. Actually, he's a CW as well, Chris
Let's
Whitaker.
go.
But he, his children are grown, like my dad, obviously. So like they just can't have that same perspective. So I just kept thinking like, wow, like even for someone like me who has an amazing support system, around, like it would still be beneficial for me. And then I started imagine the people who don't even have like a very tight knit support system, meaning like their family for whatever reason. Matt, I know your family's like far away or like whatever. And that's the reality for probably the majority of them. Like I'm probably the minority there at having like family super close, all these things. So I was just like, dude, like there's really something there because it's going to be only just you're gonna look to your left and your right, and you're just gonna see dads like, "Oh, dude, like I was up all night. Like one of my kids was sick. Like I'm going through this, I'm going through that," and like it's just almost this common universal language. And so I think that's where I just kind of thought about, it's not something that's meant to be done alone. Uh, in the sense of like you need to have other dads around you, and I think that's another thing how our fathers grew up in their generation was it was very much like, dude, like you
There
don't
was
even talk
nothing
about
like
being a
this for our
dad. Like,
dads, dude.
being a dad isn't even necessarily cool. Just make sure you like pay the bills. That's another thing I'm learning on the social media thing. People are like, dude, you go to work, like you pay the bills. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, what the hell, dude? I'm like, that's like the bare minimum. I'm like, what am I, just like a checkbook, dude? Like, I'm like, what am I supposed to just walk around? My kids be like, don't touch me, dude. Be like, I'm the checkbook. Like, that's my job. Like,
I'm
dude.
gonna say
And
that to
so,
Enzo
anyways,
tomorrow.
yeah, but it's just like, it's just there's so many things that when we started it, and and when Guy and I met, we met over like tattoos on LinkedIn. So, but we started talking about like a post about our tattoos and posting and stuff like that, and then the conversation came about for like a dad community, and I think that's just something that I've always kind of thought about, and I think that's why we capture such a special thing is because it's just it is like an unwritten, like unsaid universal kind of just like thing where a dad knows before they even join. I know by joining this I'll get to rub elbows with some other people who are going through some of the same things, or even if it's just to have a good laugh or get some support or just
Yeah.
whatever it is. So
No, but I mean, look, it sounds like, and then Guy, I want to go to you, but just even from that of you talking about like you really only had your dad or father-in-law or or whomever to go to, and so it sounds like the inception was almost created off of like, hey man, outside of other people needing this space, I need this space,
oh,
man. Like
100%. Yeah, I
I
mean,
need this space for me, dude. So
yeah,
I think that's
100%.
beautiful, man. That's Khalil Gibran is the author of the book The Prophet. He's got one of my favorite quotes ever, and that is work is love made visible. And I feel like that example is the most truest to form of work, dad good, is love made visible. You know what I mean? Where it nurtures you, it nurtures a greater being, which would be the community, just your intent to want to show up. And so I think that's fire, dude. Gee, what do you think, bro?
Yeah, I think when we initially started this thing, the main goal was make it like around dads. I think from a very early conversation with Warren was like, hey, there's so many mom communities out there, and obviously I think that's spectacular. I think every mom needs their network and they need their nest, but at the same time, Chris, you made this really good point about in the world for whatever reason, like dads are supposed to be these macho men and can't show their feelings. And I think from very early on, Warren and I both realized that, hey, something like this doesn't exist. And I think the main goal was just give dads a place where they could come together and be vulnerable. So like me personally, my only intention was to build something for dads because I didn't think that it would turn into anything. I also didn't imagine that we'd have thousands of people. I thought it would just be like a small community, maybe like a handful of dudes that like we could literally just make like, hey, like a little group chat for dads and like that was it. And honestly, that was kind of what I was
That
expecting
would have
early
been
on.
dope. If that's what it turned out to be, that would have been
But
fire.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, initially but going back to your question is that I I personally, when starting this, I thought of just dads, purely just dads, because I didn't imagine it would flourish into something that it is today. Um, but given the conversation that we had 10 or 15 minutes ago about expanding this into non-dads, I'm all for it because looking at myself when I was like 23, 24, I was wanting kids, but if I only knew a smidge of what I know now being a dad,
Right.
pre having children, probably would be a way better dad right now. I'm just
Yeah.
learning on the fly. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where the thought started from. Just give dads a place to be, and I just didn't imagine it would get to this point. Yeah.
No, for
Hey,
sure.
and you even posted about this. I think it was either last week or earlier this week, probably last week at this point. You and Warren, or you specifically said that you kind of created Dadgood for selfish reasons to create like-minded dads and friends that you haven't had or you didn't have in that moment. So I
Mm.
think to Chris's point, it was a self-reflection of what you needed in that moment, but you created a movement for other people that are going to be in that moment of their life. So I think reflecting on that too is just it's a special place uh, in a good way for you to reflect on the growth that you've had in the last 6 7 months. So good for you, man. I'm super stoked to see where you've been and your new career and your new home and your family. It's awesome to see.
Thank you,
Yeah,
bro. And
Brokey, not to like shower you, but you
no,
gotta
go
be
ahead.
so you're
Shower
like, bring
him.
it, bring it.
Shower.
Dude, you gotta be so proud of yourself, dude. Like, look, I'm 35. I know Warren and I maybe just not a lot, but a tad older. Like the success, and honestly, Maddie, for you too, bro. The success that you guys are both seeing, um, at your age right now, be it late 20s or just kissing into 30s, like,
I'm not kissing 30, bro. Don't say that.
bro, you gotta just be, and even that, you're just proving my point. Like,
I know. I'm
you
just
gotta
kidding.
be so proud of yourself, dog. Like, two beautiful children, owning a home. Like, you've created this empire within your household. Same thing for you, Maddie. Like, I obviously talk to you every day. Um, I just hope that every now and then you take a look at yourself and your life outside of the window and you're not so hard on yourself for that 5 minutes and just go like, "Yo, bro, I'm
Can I make a comment on that?
I showed up." Yeah, please.
First off, well, thank you. Obviously, that means a ton, more than you could ever imagine. But at the same time, and I posted about this the other day. I literally made a post about this the other day, like feeling the pressure. Like, yeah, I'm more than grateful for everything that I've accomplished at a young age. Like, but at the same time, when you surround yourself with people that are at the next level, self-doubt always kicks in. And I'm probably going to post about this tomorrow, diving even deeper. It's that, like, yes, I've done a lot and I'm very proud of myself, but at the same time, I get into these slumps, and I'm actually in a slump right now. I was talking to my wife about this earlier. I'm actively in a slump, but I surround myself with people that are doing extremely well, so I'm always comparing myself to the next best thing. When in reality, I probably should stop and be like, "Yo, dude."
Yeah, man. But I mean, like, compare because you already know we've talked about comparison is the thief of joy. There's the comparison where it motivates you to be like, oh, well, this guy's doing it and this guy's my homie, and I'm gonna push myself too. Or do you let that comparison like kind of punch you in the gut sometimes?
But also, I don't even think it's that. Um, I know I just said this, but now thinking more about it as we go through this, it's not even comparing myself to someone else. It may be comparing myself to the version of me from like 2 months ago, where I was
Yeah,
doing
there you
a whole
go.
lot better. I'm on top of the world. You get into this like funk, and you're comparing yourself to either a past version of yourself that you saw on cloud nine, but also like we're all on social media. You see how
Yeah.
people are doing. You see how your friends are doing. We're on LinkedIn every single day. You see the gurus posting about their wins and these big deals that they're closing. And dude, I'll be honest, it feeds into the negativity that,
No, it does
like,
for
I think
sure.
everyone has self-doubt. And
A
I'm sorry if I'm
100.
speaking for anyone else, but like,
Matt's like, nah, not
no,
me. I
oh,
don't.
okay. Well then,
Total
No,
yeah.
blinders.
no, I absolutely feel it too. I'm with you. Like, definitely feel the self-doubt more times
Yeah,
than
I
not.
think it just goes back to the point that you're making, Chris. Like, I obviously I love the kind words and I love being hyped up by my homies, but at the same time, it's like I'm always just comparing myself to like where I need to be instead of stopping in the moment and being like, "Yo, dude, just enjoy what you have and be proud of what you have." It's just not how I operate,
No, look,
and
dude,
it
and this is
sucks.
one of those preaching from the pulpits, like easier said than done. And in retrospect, I look at my own self and what I'm trying to get done and going like, hey, you're not there yet. And so, but I mean, take it back to whatever that Matthew McConaughey speech. I think he said it when he won an award. He's like, he's constantly chasing his future self. Like
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
what his goal is. When I'm 40, I'm gonna be chasing who I am at 45. When I'm 60, I'm gonna be chasing who I'm gonna be at 65. And so I don't so much look at that as a negative, even though I feel like all four of us can be unfairly brutal on ourselves. I think it's a beautiful thing to constantly chase who you know you're capable of becoming. And so don't let that die.
Yeah, and I think that's why you create friendships like what we have now. Like, you feel like you're in a slump now. I don't see that any doubt or any lack of confidence that you brought to the table in the last month or so than you currently have now. The way you're showing up is just incredible. Chris, we talk about it from time to time. Given what's going on personally for you, like, you deserve everything that you are going to get in the next month or so. Warren, same thing for you, man. Like, I'm so happy to see you guys succeed. And sometimes it just takes somebody else to acknowledge that for you to just be like, well, shit. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. No, it's
yeah,
such a good
Yeah,
point.
like you, like Matt and Guy, when I was your age, to be brutally honest, like I was still like a raging, like alcoholic, drug addict. Like I had no aspirations to have a family, and I just had no aspirations at all, like none. I
That's crazy, dude.
was worried
That's
that
about
is
so
was
like,
wild.
like
bro,
That is pretty
the
wild.
next. All I was worried about is the next. The
the
next
next
whatever, which
bag,
with my
man,
with
the
me,
next
yeah,
hit.
with,
Yeah, yeah, yo,
yeah, but to
Come
get
on, dude.
to get brutally honest, because I don't like to shy away from that. I used to try to, but that's my ride. So I'm taking it. But yeah, man. So I think you guys are doing freaking awesome, man. Like you really are. Like, and it's just like you have beautiful families, everyone's healthy, you can pay your bills, like, you got a house, you got clothes, like, you're freaking rich. Like, you're already rich.
So
You already
rich,
made it.
man.
Yeah. I mean, so,
Love that.
yeah.
Dude, we're all
Wow.
so
I
rich.
wasn't
And
expecting this,
Well,
this turn
shit.
here at the end,
Well,
dude.
I
shit.
know, dude. We're really fluffing the pillows,
Maybe
putting
I
it on
should
the
put my
cold side,
sunglasses
huh?
on.
Oh, my
Maybe I should put
We're
my
bad.
just cutting onions.
No, don't say you're bad. This is the
No,
goods
that's
right here, dude.
dude, but it's super real, man. It's super real.
Yeah,
And I
man.
think that it is not only healthy for I mean, like, I know we have our private text thread, and so all of us know what we're going through day in and day out, no less what the community might assume with us kind of being absent for a little while. But it's pretty cathartic to get the opportunity, and I think this is almost a lesson for ourselves in exercising your ability to be vulnerable, and whether it's hyping each other up or showing acknowledges, or admitting periods of like Guy was just saying, like, "Shoot, dude, I'm in a fucking slump right now, man." Um, I think that that is forever a beautiful thing, and that is the magic of the community through and through. Because Warren, even you made a comment, like, our dads didn't have an outlet like that. Like, even to this day, my dad's an old man, so he's obviously very emotional all the time. You know, when you get older, you cross that pillar. But even today, I could not imagine him stretching that level of vulnerability, and it's just because he hasn't exercised that muscle, you know? And so all 4 of us, we're young guns, so not to forecast, knock on wood, but when we're all 80, bro, we're gonna be
Crying every day.
crying babies on we're gonna be so emotionally intact with
On
ourselves,
Instagram,
dude.
crying on live.
Bro, it's gonna be awful, dude.
No, we're gonna be on LinkedIn Live. That's gonna eventually come out, all
Just
crying at 80.
crying, bro. Like, I'll never watch Homeward Bound again just because of what the
Oh
ending of
my
that
god.
movie does to me,
I remember those movies. I remember
dude.
that.
So, no,
Wow.
but that's a beautiful thing, bro. So,
It is.
well, shoot, man. We're about at the 50 mark, and really like the primary objective, what I was kind of coming into this discussion was just kind of like where we've been, where we're heading. Um, don't need to get too deep into the weeds. We really do have some really exciting stuff planned for Dadgood. And for any of you guys listening, if you are part of Dadgood, I'll be honest, and we've kind of put out some red herrings here and there, but I think, like no, I know, bro, we need help, you know? It's all of us have full-time jobs, and we all have our very specific pockets of accountability, right? But I think that a neat thing that we need to harvest a bit more is getting other people involved. So, by all means, if you're in the community and you have a passion about social media, if you're in the community and you have a passion about video editing, or if you have a passion or experience running an e-commerce store, or you're into, you're into brand partnerships or affiliates or like something like what Matt is doing, anything that you are interested in from a business capacity and you want to help support a brand, I promise you the coolest thing that these cats can do for you is catapult you into a position, support you having that experience on your CV, and let's like build this thing together because similar to how Warren and Gee started from just them talking about tattoos and Gee thinking it would maybe just be a couple hundred dads. Um, it's a couple thousand dads, more than a couple thousand dads. And that didn't happen by accident. And so lean into it, dude. If you're interested in something, and maybe it's something we didn't even think of yet, I would really implore you guys to reach out to Guy or Warren or Matt and myself and be like, hey, I have this ridiculous idea and I want to get involved. And I promise you it's going to be met with support. And that would be the coolest thing that we could do as we all, not just us four, but the community in general, like continue to build and rise this thing that we've created that has really become such a blessing in so many of our lives. So,
Well said, brother.
Amen to
Love it.
that.
yeah, bro. So, with that said, we'll let you guys go. Real pleasure speaking to all you guys with the red light on and record. Obviously, we've all spoken all through this loom, but really cool to just enter some normalcy. New episodes released every single Friday. I'm your host, Chris Walcher. We got our boy WD Warren to Friends in the house hanging out with us. You already know about him. Your guy, Guy Groskos, GG, hanging out with us tonight. And king of all partnerships and affiliate marketing. Don't forget about your boy, MC Matt Campbell, hanging out with us tonight. Dadgood community, we love you. We're grateful for you. Honestly, could never imagine ourselves in this position without you. And thus, we're going to keep showing up for you. That calls it a wrap. And we'll see you guys next week. Cheers.
Later.
See ya.